What if a simple promise of a cheeseburger could lead to an unimaginable nightmare? What if a brief moment of trust could unravel a lifetime of loss? On that fateful June evening in 2013, the Perrywinkle family was just another face in the crowd, until a kind stranger offered them a helping hand. But what began as an innocent gesture quickly twisted into a chilling tale of deception and horror. As Cherish Perrywinkle innocently followed a man she believed was her friend, the world around her turned dark, and a family's worst fears became a horrifying reality. The story of Cherish Perrywinkle is not just a tragic crime. It is a stark reminder that danger often lurks where we least expect it. How could a mother's trusting moment lead to such devastation? And how did a predator so seamlessly weave his way into their lives? In the next moments, we will unravel this heartbreaking story, not just to recount the horrors of that day, but to understand the profound lessons it leaves behind. Stay with us as we explore the haunting details and ask the questions that still linger. Could this happen to someone you love? And how do we protect our children when evil wears a mask of kindness? Welcome to True Crime Acts, where we look into the hidden truths behind some of the most chilling real-life events. Our mission is to uncover the stories that shock, educate, and spark change, reminding us that behind every headline is a victim, a family, and a ripple effect felt by an entire community. If you find this journey as important as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to ensure you never miss another gripping exploration into the depths of human behavior. It was an ordinary evening on June 21, 2013. Rayne Perrywinkle and her 3 young daughters, including 8-year-old Cherish, walked into a Dollar General store in Jacksonville, Florida. Rayne, a struggling single mother, had been hoping to find inexpensive clothes for her daughters. As she browsed through the racks, her mind was filled with worry over financial constraints. Her eldest daughter, Cherish, clung to her side, her eyes hopeful, as she pointed to a pretty dress. From the corner of her eye, Rayne noticed a man watching them. He was unremarkable, blending easily into the background of the store, a middle-aged man with graying hair and a polite smile. He approached, introducing himself as Donald James Smith. He spoke softly, offering to help Rayne purchase clothes for her girls, explaining he had a gift card to Walmart. His demeanor was kind, his voice warm. Rayne, in her vulnerability, saw an opportunity to give her children something she couldn't otherwise afford. Smith walked with them, his presence seemingly benign. He chatted easily, his voice never betraying the predator that lurked beneath his skin. But as the minutes ticked by, small things might have seemed off. His overly generous nature, the way his eyes lingered on Cherish just a little too long, the way he directed the conversation, subtly leading them toward Walmart. As they left the Dollar General together, none of them could have imagined that only one of them would return. The others would go home shattered, their lives irreversibly fractured. Could you spot the danger if a seemingly kind stranger offered help? Or would you also be caught off guard by his carefully constructed facade? The ride to Walmart was filled with small talk. Smith maintained his mask of helpfulness, chatting about the clothes and toys the girls might like. Rayne relaxed slightly, believing this man was simply a Good Samaritan. In her world, where struggles were many and kindness was rare, Smith's generosity seemed like a gift. As they entered Walmart, Smith encouraged the children to pick out what they wanted. The family walked through aisles filled with summer dresses, colorful toys, and everyday necessities. Cherish's eyes lit up as she found a new outfit, holding it up to her mother, who nodded with a relieved smile. But there were subtle signs of Smith's true intentions. He seemed particularly attentive to Cherish, guiding her towards the aisles further from her mother. He mentioned the McDonald's inside the store, offering to buy the family cheeseburgers. Rayne hesitated, but her children were hungry, and she allowed Cherish to go with him. They walked away together, his hand on her shoulder, his voice reassuring. Minutes turned into an agonizing half-hour. Rayne's initial calm turned into unease as they didn't return. She paced the aisles, her eyes darting between customers, hoping to see her daughter. When she asked a Walmart employee for help, a pit of dread formed in her stomach. They checked the McDonald's. Empty. The cheeseburgers were never bought. At what point do you think a mother's instinct should override politeness and trust? And how would you react if it were your child? Rayne's panic escalated. Her daughter was missing, and the kind stranger who had offered to help was gone too. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911. Her voice trembled as she explained the situation. She described Smith, the white van he drove, and the horrific realization that her daughter might be in danger. The 911 call was gut-wrenching. Rayne's voice cracked with fear and guilt. She repeated Cherish's name, a plea woven through her sobs. The dispatcher asked questions, but each answer seemed to bring more despair. How could this have happened? How had she allowed it? The Amber Alert wasn't issued immediately. Hours slipped by, crucial time that might have made a difference. While Rayne held on to the desperate hope that Cherish would walk through the door any minute, Smith was miles away, his intentions unfolding in the darkest way imaginable. Can you imagine the torment of waiting for help, knowing each second lost might mean the difference between life and death? The search for Cherish began in earnest as dawn broke. Police officers, K-9 units, and volunteers scoured the area around the Walmart and beyond. The community rallied, sharing Cherish's photo, hoping someone might spot her. But beneath the urgency was a growing dread. Hours later, the call came in. A suspicious van had been spotted near Highlands Baptist Church. Officers rushed to the scene, navigating through a narrow path behind the church that led to a shallow creek. There, among the muddy water and tangled brush, they found Cherish's body. She had been brutally assaulted and strangled. The world seemed to freeze in that moment. The little girl with the bright smile and hopeful eyes was gone, her innocence stolen by a predator who had walked among them. The officers who found her were left shaken, their hardened exteriors cracking under the weight of what they had witnessed. How do communities recover when a place of worship becomes the backdrop for a tragedy so profound? Donald Smith didn't get far. Just hours after Cherish's body was found, officers spotted his van. They initiated a traffic stop, drawing their weapons as Smith exited the vehicle. He did not resist, his demeanor calm, as if he hadn't just committed an unthinkable crime. Smith's history came to light. A registered sex offender with a long record of preying on young girls. He had been released from prison just 21 days before. The justice system had failed Cherish, allowing a known predator back onto the streets where he could strike again. Smith was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and sexual battery. The trial that followed would expose the horror of what he had done, but nothing could restore what he had taken from Cherish, her family, and the community. Should repeat offenders ever be given a second chance, or does one's past always predict their future? As the trial of Donald Smith commenced, the courtroom became a stage where the unthinkable horrors of that fateful night were laid bare. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence against Smith, from surveillance footage showing him leading Cherish Perrywinkle out of Walmart to the forensic evidence that tied him to the crime. Cherish's mother, Rayne, sat through every grueling detail. Her face was a canvas of anguish and regret as she listened to the testimony. The prosecution played the 911 call where Rayne's voice trembled with fear. Jurors wiped away tears as they heard her desperation, her pleas to find Cherish before it was too late. When Smith took the stand, he showed no remorse. His defense attempted to argue mental instability, suggesting he wasn't fully aware of his actions. But the evidence was undeniable. Expert witnesses detailed how Smith had lured Cherish away, his manipulation, and the calculated way he had orchestrated her abduction. The most chilling moment came when forensic experts confirmed the brutality of Cherish's final moments. The courtroom fell silent, the weight of the truth pressing down on everyone present. When the guilty verdict was read, there was no celebration, only a heavy silence. Smith was sentenced to death, a rare moment of justice in a case that had left so many wounds. But for Rayne, there would never be closure. Her daughter's murderer would spend years on death row, but that would not bring Cherish back. Can the justice system truly deliver closure, or are some losses too profound to ever fully heal? In the days following Cherish's murder, Jacksonville, Florida, found itself in mourning. The community held vigils, lighting candles, and sharing stories about the bright, smiling girl whose life had been so brutally cut short. The Walmart where she was last seen became a makeshift memorial. People left flowers, notes, and small toys, each item a symbol of innocence lost. Schools brought in counselors to help children process the loss of their classmate. Parents clung to their children a little tighter, haunted by the realization that danger could lurk behind the kindest smiles. Strangers came together, sharing their grief and outrage. The tragedy transcended neighborhoods, with support pouring in from across the nation. Rayne became a focal point of both sympathy and scrutiny. Some blamed her for trusting Smith, questioning how she could allow a stranger to take her daughter. Others defended her, arguing that no one should exploit a mother's vulnerability. The discourse was heated, but ultimately, it became a rallying cry for better education about child safety and the dangers of predatory behavior. Laws were proposed to tighten restrictions on sex offenders. Community groups organized safety workshops. The tragedy sparked change, but the shadow of Cherish's death lingered. Her story became a cautionary tale, a grim reminder of the dangers that could lie beneath the surface of everyday life. How do we balance compassion and caution, and can one tragic event truly lead to meaningful change in protecting our children? For Rayne Perrywinkle, life after Cherish's death became an endless loop of what-ifs. She replayed every moment of that night, haunted by the decisions she had made. The simple act of accepting Smith's offer felt like a betrayal to her daughter, a choice she could never take back. She withdrew from the public eye, avoiding the judgment and whispers that seemed to follow her everywhere. Her remaining children became her anchor, but even they felt the ripples of loss. Rayne struggled with depression, her grief manifesting in long silences and sleepless nights. She attended therapy, joining support groups for parents of murdered children. In time, Rayne found a purpose in advocacy. She began speaking out about the dangers of trusting strangers, partnering with organizations focused on preventing child abductions. She shared her story, not to gain sympathy, but to ensure no other parent made the same mistake. Her voice became a beacon for change, her vulnerability a powerful tool in the fight against predators. Though the pain of losing Cherish never faded, Rayne's strength became a testament to a mother's resilience. She honored Cherish's memory by transforming her grief into action, proving that even in the darkest moments, there could be light. Can turning tragedy into advocacy truly heal deep wounds, or does it simply mask the pain with purpose? Cherish Perrywinkle's story left a lasting legacy. Her name became associated not only with tragedy, but with change. Charities were established in her memory, funding educational programs that taught children about safety and parents about the red flags of predatory behavior. Schools implemented new safety protocols, teaching kids to trust their instincts and always stay close to their parents in public spaces. Community events promoted stranger danger awareness, blending fun activities with critical lessons on personal safety. Cherish's face became a symbol of innocence. Her story was shared widely, a reminder of how quickly life could change. The initiatives in her name helped prevent other tragedies. Each life saved a quiet tribute to her memory. Her mother's advocacy continued to draw attention to the flaws in the system that allowed a known predator access to vulnerable families. The playground built in her honor stood as a place of joy, a testament to her spirit. It was a space where laughter reigned, where children played freely, safe, cherished, and loved. Can a community's response to tragedy create real safety, or do the lessons of the past too often fade as time goes on? The legal system delivered its final judgment when Donald Smith was sentenced to death. For many, it was a moment of justice, a step toward closure. But as the gavel fell, the reality set in. Nothing could bring Cherish back. Her family was left to navigate life without her, the ache of loss a constant companion. In the years since, the Perrywinkle family has sought solace in small moments. They celebrate Cherish's birthday with balloons and cake, imagining the milestones she would have reached. They find comfort in the community's embrace, in the knowledge that her story has saved lives, and that her legacy is one of love and learning. The story of Cherish Perrywinkle is not just about a crime, but about resilience, advocacy, and the enduring power of love. It is a reminder to trust our instincts, to protect our children fiercely, and to hold tight to those we cherish. In a world where danger often hides in plain sight, how do we stay vigilant without losing hope in the goodness that still exists around us? The story of Cherish Perrywinkle is not just a tale of a horrific crime. It's a haunting reminder of the dangers that can hide behind a friendly smile and a simple promise. Her legacy is a call to all of us to be vigilant, to educate our children about safety, and to build stronger, more protective communities. We must ask ourselves, what more can we do to safeguard our loved ones? How can we support those who have endured such unimaginable loss? And most importantly, how can we transform the heartbreak of Cherish's story into a catalyst for lasting change? If you were moved by Cherish's story, share this video, spread awareness, and take action in your own community. Your voice can be the difference that prevents another tragedy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more true crime stories that not only expose the darkness, but also shine a light on hope, resilience, and the power of change. Will you join us in being a voice for the voiceless and a guardian for the vulnerable? The choice is yours, and every action counts.